One of the most important elements about property investing that a lot of people underestimate is the kind of the why and their mindset and the mentality about why do they want to invest in property, isn't it, Caroline?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I struggled with this concept when I first started. I thought it was a bit woolly and wishy-washy and trying to be a bit
Mumbo-jumbo.
Yeah, mumbo-jumbo, deep, emotional. But actually, I've come to realise the importance behind the purpose of why you do something.
Yeah, you love it now.
I love this now because actually, property investing, while it's simple, it's not easy, it's really quite challenging. You're going to meet a lot of challenges, not just within the market,
daily basis.
On a daily basis, right? And if you don't have a strong reason to keep going, it's so easy to give up.
And a lot of people will just go into property thinking, I want a bit more money.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, it is an easy thing to think, I need a bit more money, what can give that to me? Property.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, well, why do you want a bit more money? And it's when you start to delve a bit deeper, that's when you really kind of start understanding people's true reason. Because whilst a lot of people say, yeah, I want a bit more money, ultimately, I think more people want time than they do want money from property. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, no, I think they're just always about, well, I just want to get a bit more money. Why? In order to do what I want to do when I want to do it.
Yeah.
And then when you say, well, what do you want to do when you want to do it? And then they get stuck.
It's a question that you never get asked, though. And it's almost like people's hopes and dreams have been beaten out of them for however long they've been alive. So when you go and ask that kind of question, people are like, no one's ever asked me this before. It's a strange question to be asked.
It's like everyone's been programmed that they have to work hard for money, save for a rainy day, pay their taxes.
Literally follow that.
And so they literally have that monotone way of thinking that anything outside of that, they don't allow themselves to think of because it's not going to happen. Just like very few people think about what they would do if they won the lottery.
I think a lot of people do think about what they would do if they won the lottery, but they almost know it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
So they can freely discuss that because it's, the chance of it happening are next to zero. Yeah. Whereas being successful in property, if you've got the right people around you, the right knowledge, the right team and all that, the chance of success are far higher. And it's almost like, it's that fear of success that then starting to come back in, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's way too easy for people to give up when things get a little bit tricky. And then if you're really clear on your vision of why you're doing it, it helps you overcome those challenges and actually inspires you, if you like, to keep going when others would just fall by the wayside. And so many people give up, right? They find out, actually it's a bit tricky to get a deal, or it's a bit tricky to do the raising money, or it's tricky to speak to the banks or the letting agents. Yeah, all of those things are tricky, but once you know why
it's tricky to go and work for someone else for 40 years, isn't it?
It's tricky to work for a boss you don't like.
It's always going to be tricky. Choose your tricky.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because your why will change over time as well. I know yours has, mine definitely has as well. But you start out from a position of I want to get away from maybe a position that I'm in or make a change to your life. And then once you've achieved that, did you find that your progress almost stalled a little bit?
Yeah. Are you plateaued?
Ours definitely did. Yeah, ours plateaued and we were kind of like, well, we've done what we set out to achieve now, and you then need to change that why. So your why evolves over the
it's
time.
It's like a reset, right? Yeah. It's like, okay, so I want to invest in property to leave my job. Then when you leave the job, you're like, well, let's take some time off. Yeah, let's enjoy this. You enjoy that for a little bit. And then you find that 12 months has gone by and you're like, okay, I need to get back on the horse and do more investing because I'm going to have to raise my bar and change why I'm doing this.
Equally as well, I think, if the why is to leave the job, then there's people that are scared about actually leaving the job because then they're like, what's next? And it's that fear of the unknown starts kicking in, a bit like Jordan when we were like, you need to stop doing your personal training now, you've got enough, you can stop. And he's like, no, I'm going to keep going until it was almost taken out of his hands to stop it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's like, I've got to do this now, like what next? And then that took him to another level with his investing.
Well, if you think about a job, it's someone's identity. They can say, I am a solicitor, I am an accountant, I am an engineer, whatever it is. It's an identity. The minute that you leave that and you're a bit different.
You can say I'm a property investor, but I guess you then start getting weird questions asked you at functions and things like that. So
of course, how many do you have? You must have lots of money. Where do you have them? Oh, all those. Where are the best deals? No, the key is really to ask yourself, what is important to you? Why are you doing this? What's going to be the next step beyond that? What's your 5-year plan? And people really struggle with that.
Yeah.